Number 1. In the Venn diagram, we have supported annexation, good relations with the natives, replaced the Army with the Texas Rangers on the left. On the right, we have against annexation, bad relations with the natives, and created a Texas Navy. Number 1 says, which two Texan leaders are being compared in the Venn diagram? A. Dwight Eisenhower, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. B. Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin. C. Sam Houston, Maribel Lamar. D. Maribel Lamar, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Number 2. New Deal programs such as the Civilian Conservation Corps, or CCC, and the Works Progress Administration, or WPA, were primarily intended to help A. Unemployed workers, B. Farmers, C. Homeowners, D. Businesses. Number 3. The Great Depression had an impact on the American people in ways listed below, except, so you're looking for the one that was not an impact on the American people. A. Large numbers of people were without jobs. B. Large numbers of people registered to vote. C. Farmers' incomes fell to low levels and many were forced to waste their crops instead of selling them. D. Large numbers of people were hungry and homeless due to the bank and business failure. Number 4. How did the Dust Bowl affect economic development in Texas? A. Many farms were lost to banks. B. The demand for Texas crops declined. C. Employment in major cities increased. D. Oil production declined in West Texas. Number 5. Texas was not as severely affected by the stock market crash as other areas of the United States because A. Texans did not heavily invest in the stock market. B. Most Texans just bought stock from thriving companies. C. Investing in the stock market was illegal in Texas. D. There were no wealthy people in Texas to purchase stock. Number 6. In the box, we have 1. Battle of the Alamo, 2. Battle of Gonzales, 3. Battle of San Jacinto, 4. Goliad Massacre. Which of the following is the correct order for the events of the Texas Revolution listed above? Number 7. In the box, it says, the goal of the mission was to transform American Indians into Christians and loyal Spanish subjects. Missionaries believed that this task would take about 10 years to complete. They hoped that once they reached this goal, the missionaries could move on, leaving behind a Spanish settlement. This system had worked well in Mexico, and Spain's leaders hoped that the same system would work in Texas. Thus, mission by mission, Texas would become Spanish. Number 7. According to this passage from the text, the Spanish planned to populate Texas mostly by A. Attracting immigrants from other countries. B. Converting American Indians into Spanish subjects. C. Sending large numbers of soldiers to live there. D. Sending large numbers of missionaries to live there. Number 8. Based on a belief of manifest destiny, many Americans in the 1840s believed that A. The Rio Grande River should be the border between Mexico and the United States. B. The United States was entitled to all the land between the east and west coast. C. All of Mexico should belong to the United States. D. Existing treaties with Native Americans had already granted Texas to the United States. Number 9. Which of the following is the economic or money effect of the Civil War and Reconstruction on Texas? A. Tenant farming and sharecropping increased in Texas. B. France regained interest in exploring Texas. C. Texas suffered worse than the other states in the South. D. There was a shortage of free labor for agriculture. Number 10. Which definition best describes a boom and bust cycle? A. A period of great profits followed by a downward trend in an industry. B. A period of poor profits followed by a large growth in an industry. C. A period of high unemployment followed by a growth period. D. A period of growth leading to higher employment. Number 11. What is the significance or importance of the Battle of Gonzales? A. James Fannin and all of his troops were massacred after surrendering to the Mexican forces. B. Texans were greatly outnumbered and were defeated by Santa Anna's army in 18 minutes. C. It marks the beginning of the Texas Revolution. D. It was the last battle of the Texas Revolution. Number 12. Why did Travis write his letter from the Alamo? A. He was writing to tell his friends and family goodbye before the large battle began. B. He was writing to the people of Texas and all Americans to ask for help at the Alamo. C. He was surrendering to Santa Anna after being held under siege for several days. D. He was writing a letter to Sam Houston to inform him of Santa Anna's defeat. Number 13. What was characteristic of the treatment of African Americans and Hispanics in Texas prior or before the Civil Rights Movement? A. African Americans and Hispanics received the same treatment as whites. B. African Americans and Hispanics did not get along and often fought. C. Hispanics were never mistreated. D. African Americans and Hispanics suffered from discrimination practices such as the poll tax and Jim Crow laws. Number 14. It says, which title would best complete this chart? In the chart we have slavery, sectionalism, tariff or tax, nullification crisis, and states' rights. So what would be the best title for this chart? A. Reasons why the northern states seceded. B. Reasons why Texas was annexed into the United States. C. Reasons why Texas was involved in the Civil War. D. Reasons why the Confederacy went into debt. Number 15. What was the date that enslaved Africans learned of their freedom? A. June 13th, 1865. B. July 1st, 1865. C. May 15th, 1865. D. June 19th, 1865. Number 16. What was one effect that the arrival of the Spanish had on Native American tribes of Texas? A. Native Americans were forced to move further west to accommodate the growing Spanish population. B. Native Americans were introduced to new diseases that killed many of those who came into contact with the Spanish. C. Native Americans began to assimilate with the Spanish to create a new culture group. D. Native Americans of the Plains regions helped the Spanish learn how to survive in Texas conditions. Number 17. Which motivation led early European explorers to investigate the Americas? A. Desire to find gold. B. Desire to spread democracy. C. Desire to leave overcrowded cities. D. Desire to escape government monarchies. Number 18. Missions were this country's primary way of colonizing in America. A. England. B. Spain. C. France. D. Mexico. Number 19. How did Cibola figure into the early history of Texas? A. Cibola was the name of the founder of San Antonio. B. Cibola was a legend of 7 cities made of gold. C. Cibola was the name of Cabeza de Vaca's ship. D. Cibola was the disease that killed La Salle. Number 20. Most major cities or big cities are located in which region of Texas? A. Coastal Plains. B. North Central Plains. C. Mountains and Basins. D. Great Plains. Number 21. In quotation marks, it reads, "The North perhaps is and has been infringing on Southern rights, but what can the South do to better the matter by withdrawing from the Union? There cannot, in my opinion, be any good result from such a procedure." The author of the quote above is referring to which event in history? A. Annexation. B. Secession. C. Reconstruction. D. Revolution. Number 22. The spread of religion, such as Catholicism, was sometimes used as a cover for explorers' greater desire for A. Knowledge, or B. Gold. Don't worry about the other two. Number 23. It says use this contract to answer the following question, such as each farmer must produce at least 10 bales of cotton each growing season. The price of each bale of cotton will be determined by me. Each farmer must pay at least a half of their profits to me. Each farmer must pay for any damages to rented equipment. Each farmer must pay all debts for rented equipment or face a 10% increase for land rent next year. So 23 says the contract above is an example of A. Subrogation, B. Racketeering, C. Usury, or D. Sharecropping. Number 24. In quotation marks it says the Spanish told us to forget about our old beliefs, that our way of life was wrong. Life inside the structure was not very enjoyable. We had a very strict schedule of chores and prayer. Many people ran away because they did not like their new life. And this is from an unknown Native American or Indian. So the quote above is from a Native American that lived in a Spanish A. Pueblo, B. Adobe, C. Alcalade, or D. a mission. Number 25. Which of these options correctly pairs the battle in the Texas Revolution where you would have seen this image below with the item that was being fought over at that battle? A. The Battle of San Jacinto, a cannon. B. The Battle of Goliad, a gun. C. The Battle of Gonzales, a cannon. D. The Battle of the Alamo, Stephen F. Austin. Number 26. The title of the map says votes for and against the 1845 annexation of Texas. So if you look in the key, we have the white is for annexation, and the gray is against annexation, and black is no vote was cast. So the question says the map above shows how Americans voted in 1845 on the question of whether the U.S. should annex Texas or become part of Texas. What factor most likely influenced the voting pattern on the map above? A. Expansion of slavery. B. Threat of war with Spain. C. Competition for rail lines. D. Battle of the Alamo. Number 27. Which of the following list the above events in chronological or time order from what happened first to what happened last order? So in the box we have A. The Texas Rangers were established. B. Mexican troops tried to take a cannon from the citizens of Gonzales. C. The Texas Declaration of Independence was adopted. D. The Mexican army laid siege to the Alamo. Number 28. We have a chart above titled Census of 1860. In the first column we have numbers. In the second column we have the states. In the third column we have the free population or free people. In the next column we have slave population or slave people. And then we have the totals of both in the last column and the percentage. The question is, which state from the census above had a higher percentage of slaves than Texas? Was it A. Georgia, B. Arkansas, C. Kentucky, or D. Missouri? Number 29, using the same chart, the slave population of Texas in 1860 was larger than the total population of which other state? A. Southern Carolina, B. Alabama, C. Virginia, D. Florida. Number 30. If you look at the map, all the red dots are the battles, the Civil War battles that took place. The question says, look at the map above. Most of the Civil War battles that took place in Texas were located A. Near borders with Union territory, B. Along a major river, C. Along the Gulf of Mexico, D. Near large cities like Austin and San Antonio. Number 31. What factor most influenced the location of Civil War battles in Texas looking at the same map? A. Union forces targeted Texas ports in order to limit trade to the other southern states. B. Union forces were unable to reach Texas on foot. C. Texan soldiers preferred to stay near home and fight on familiar land. D. Mexican troops aided the Texans in their fight, so they kept battles close to the Mexican border. Number 32. Based on the geographic characteristics of the Gulf coastal plains, what conclusions can be drawn about the Karankawas? A. Suffered water shortages due to lack of rainfall. B. Lived in a high elevation area. C. Lived in a low elevation area. D. Followed the buffalo as they searched for grass. Number 33. LULAC and the NAACP are examples of what kind of groups? A. Groups that represented African Americans' voting rights. B. Groups that represented the children of America. C. Groups that represent the rights of American citizens. D. Groups that represent the Latin American population. Number 34. Why were the delegates at the secession convention in favor of Texas leaving the Union? A. They wanted Abraham Lincoln as president. B. They considered slavery vital to the economy. C. They disagreed with paying high federal taxes. D. They thought the national government was influenced by Britain. Number 35. We have a map that has the title 18th Century Texas. In the key we have towns, missions, presidios, borders, rivers, and roads. Which country was Texas part of during the time period shown on the map? A. France. B. Spain. C. Mexico. D. United States. Number 36. The idea that the United States should stretch from sea to shining sea is A. Eminent domain. B. Manifest destiny. C. Federalism. D. Confederacy. Number 37. In the excerpt it reads, Dear brother, houses are very sorry in this country, for it is a considerable job to build a cabin, owing to the timber being so scarce, and plank is out of the question. The people use what they call puncheon, which is ash saplings split open and laid down for floors. A man can raise as many cattle as he pleases without feeding them at all, and can kill fat beeves any time in the winter. The grass is now green. Using this information provided in this excerpt, which of the following identifies the resource that is scarce, and then the resource that is plentiful in the order presented above? A. Grass and wood. B. Wood and grass. C. Wood and beeves. D. Grass and oil. Number 38. The title of the excerpt is Short Biography of Sam Houston. It reads, During the War of 1812, Sam Houston served with Andrew Jackson in battles against the British. After the war, Jackson became President of the United States and continued to support Houston as he ran for several political offices. Houston also began to study law and was soon elected the district attorney in Nashville, Tennessee. In 1823, he was elected to Congress, and in 1827 he was elected governor of Tennessee. By 1833, Houston was living in Texas for at least part of the year and seems to have established a permanent residence in Nacogdoches, near the Louisiana border. With the outbreak of the Texas Revolution, Houston was quickly given command of the ragtag Texas Army. Keenly aware that he was heavily outnumbered, he kept up a retreat from the Mexican army for over a month. Despite being criticized by his peers and other leaders, finally, when the Mexican General Santa Anna split his forces in April, Houston ordered the attack of San Jacinto that gained Texas its independence. The newly independent Lone Star Republic made Houston its first president, and he filled the office again in 1841. As president, he secured United States recognition of Texas and stabilized the republic's finances. When Texas gained statehood, Houston continued his political career as a United States Senator, serving until 1860. He was also elected governor of Texas, a feat that has rarely been repeated, serving as a president first and then a governor. Houston left the governorship when his view on the Civil War differed greatly with many Texans. Houston died on his farm in Huntsville, Texas in 1863. So 38 says, below are some of the major events of Sam Houston's life mentioned in the biography. 1. Served as president of Lone Star Republic of Texas. 2. Elected governor of Tennessee. 3. Elected governor of Texas. 4. Fought in the War of 1812. Which of the following shows the events in Sam Houston's life listed in correct chronological order? So what happened first to what happened last? Number 39. Using the same excerpt about Sam Houston's life, in paragraph 4, the author says that Sam Houston left the governorship of Texas when his view on the Civil War differed greatly with many Texans. Using your knowledge of Texas history, which of the following statements accurately explains how Sam Houston's view differed from many Texans? A. Sam Houston wanted to join South during the Civil War, but many Texans wanted to join the North. B. Sam Houston wanted to invite Mexico to join the Civil War in order to help defend the institution of slavery, but many Texans did not. C. Sam Houston did not want to join the Civil War at all, but many Texans wanted to defend the institution of slavery in their state. D. Sam Houston wanted to make Texas a part of Mexico again to avoid participating in the Civil War, but many Texans did not. Number 40. In the chart above, we have the Bill of Rights, which we have the freedom of speech, a question mark, freedom of the press, and right to trial by jury. Number 40 says, which of the following best completes the chart? A. Freedom of religion. B. Freedom of employment. C. Right to a college education. D. Right to a democratic government. Number 41. The previous newspaper is shown covering the freedom rides and the violence that they encountered along the way. Which of the following would be the best statement regarding the free press and the civil rights movement? A. People did not understand why African Americans were protesting. B. All the newspapers did not support the civil rights movement and their goals. C. Newspaper sales dropped because of their coverage of the civil rights movement. D. The pictures and stories in the newspapers of the civil rights movement increased support for the civil rights movement. Number 42. Use the diagram in your knowledge of social studies to answer the question. So we have a graphic that has Southern states pass black codes, Texas Constitution of 1866 is adopted, and the Freedmen's Bureau is created, all pointing to what? The best title for the diagram would be A. Effects of Texas Statehood, B. Effects of the Texas Revolution, C. Effects of Texas Reconstruction, D. Effects of Texas Secession. Number 43. How was Texas state government changed to address the growth of the oil industry? A. The Texas Surveyor's Office was established to locate oil deposits. B. The Texas Railroad Commission was established to regulate and control oil prices. C. The Texas Energy Conservation Office was established to regulate oil deposit claims and usage. D. The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality was established to regulate oil industry pollution. Number 44. Which of the following is a true statement regarding the law of April 6th of 1830? A. The law of April 6th of 1830 was intended to increase U.S. immigration to Texas. B. The law of April 6th of 1830 was intended to stop U.S. immigration to Texas. C. The law of April 6th of 1830 provided land grants to Americans. D. The law of April 6th of 1830 required Texans to practice the Catholic religion. Number 45. The excerpt reads, I am besieged or surrounded by 1,000 or more of the Mexicans under Santa Anna. I have sustained a continual bombardment of cannons for 24 hours and have not lost a man. The enemy has demanded a surrender at discretion, otherwise the garrison are to be put to the sword. If the fort is taken, I have answered the demand with a cannon shot, and our flag still waves proudly from the walls. I shall never surrender or retreat. Who is the author of this letter? A. Sam Houston, B. James Fannin, C. William B. Travis, D. James Bowie. Number 46. The Alamo is to William B. Travis as the Goliad is to who? A. Lorenzo de Salva, B. James Fannin, C. Sam Houston, D. William Crockett. Number 47. What physical feature is common in both the Great Plains and the Coastal Plains regions of Texas? A. Lack of significant water resources. B. Cold winters and humid hot summers. C. Flat land suitable for farming or ranching. D. Major cities with large metropolitan areas. Number 48. Use the following picture to answer the question. What is the climate or weather like in this Texas region? A. Tropical climate, constantly hot throughout the year, monsoons or heavy rain season. B. Wettest part of the state, subtropical, most rain per year, humid days and hurricanes. C. Moderate climate, cold winters, violent storms and tornadoes. D. Driest part of the state, desert, little rain per year, hot days and cool nights. Number 49. Which part of the U.S. and Texas constitutions ensures individual freedoms? A. The preamble. B. The Bill of Rights. C. Power of impeachment. Or D. Line item veto. Number 50. Use the picture and the chart to answer the question. So in the box we have the son of a Texas pioneer woman who was captured by the Comanche, a warrior and the last of the Comanche chiefs. He surrendered and successfully moved his tribe to reservations. A leader on the reservation who helped the Comanches adjust to life on the reservations. Who is this pictured and described in this box? A. Quanah Parker. B. Cynthia Ann Parker. C. Peta Nocona. D. Sitting Bull. Number 51. How did the end of the Civil War affect the cattle industry? A. Much of the land used for grazing was destroyed in the war. B. Farmers had to move west and take land needed for grazing. C. The demand for beef in the East brought rapid growth to the industry. D. The loss in the Confederacy brought many cowboys to the cattle industry.